Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a film that I have seen pop up everywhere. I think I've seen it on Tubi. I think I've seen the poster on like Netflix once upon a time. I don't know. But it's on Shudder. That's where I watch this currently. It might be available on other streaming services if you'd like to check this out. It's called Housebound. I used to get this and Hell House LLC mixed up constantly because of the titles. A lot of that happens to me with titles of movies because I think some films deliberately do that. Anyway, Housebound, as strange as that sounds, to be mixed up with Hell House LLC, I can't help it. They always mess with me. The film came out in 2014, and it is an hour and 47 minutes long, according to IMDb. This is a New Zealand comedy, a horror comedy. I'm going to tell you, I am not the biggest fan of British horror. I know New Zealand's not British. I understand. I understand. Shut up. I know. But I'm saying I'm not the biggest fan of this kind of humor, not because of this movie, but because of British humor, being American, is very dry. For example, I love the American The Office. Can't stand the British one with Ricky Gervais. I've tried to watch that. I can't stand it. It is so dry in a place that, like, I can't appreciate that. I just can't. I don't know why, but I can't. Then these comedians come to America, and they have American standard humor, and it's so bizarre to me that that happens. And The Office in America is considered super dry by the normies of the audience that don't watch that kind of comedy. It's so strange to me. I just don't understand that. But anyway, Housebound, I expected to be like that, but the ratings were so high, and I've seen this recommended constantly to me from different people online, especially on like Reddit and stuff. This has an audience on different parts of the internet, depending on where you're talking about or talking to others about it. It's kind of a haunted house movie, but kind of not. It has a lot of different things to it, kind of a family drama, kind of a mystery in the town type of story. It has so much going for it. It's a lot of different things, the horror and the comedy being kind of in the main front, but mainly the comedy, even more so than the horror. All of it works very well. It can be kind of tense, it can be kind of scary and kind of fun. It's amazing when horror comedies can pull that off, and I think this is a great example of one who really, really did. Because personally, I loved this. I didn't think it was perfect or amazing or anything, but it stood out a lot. It's one of those films like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil that even though it has clearly a kind of a limited budget on what they could do, they did so much with it. And Housebound is just like that. If you appreciate things like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, you should watch this. Even if you don't like kind of British located movies, this is really good. Housebound is very solid, very enjoyable, very much a recommendation from yours truly, about a young woman who basically looks just like Gina Carano. I want to give this young lady her name for my video. I usually don't do that unless it's somebody I really think gave a great performance, and she absolutely did. Her name is Morgana O'Reilly, or Morgana O'Reilly, excuse me. She was phenomenal. She was so good here. She was so fucking funny. I loved this chick. Beautiful woman, kind of like a goth punkster type of thing like that. I don't know. But she gets caught committing a crime, trying to rob an ATM, essentially, with a friend of hers. And when she gets caught, she gets taken back to her mom's house and put on house arrest permanently for a little while. I guess it's not permanently, but you know what I mean. She gets on that for a little while. And she can't stand her mom. She can't stand her doctor, her therapist, whatever that she gets stuck with. Can't really stand anybody, actually. Even the guy who puts the brace thing on her leg, the foot, whatever it is, to track you if you leave the house or the property or whatever when you're under house arrest. Now her mom, she finds out from a radio show that she hears her mom calling into one night. She finds out that her mom apparently thinks the house is haunted, even though she grew up in this house all of her life. Her mom's lived there for a very long time as well. She never had any issues with any kind of ghostly activity of any sort, so she thinks her mom might be losing her mind. The relationship between these two actresses and these two characters are phenomenal. The clever writing for it, the clever performances for both roles, they are so good, and I love watching them interact, even though the mom character, not so much the actress, but the character gets on my nerves a little bit, just a little bit. But she's supposed to. That's the good thing. Again, it's a very self-aware film. It knows what it's doing with the humor, with the characters itself. There are so many characters in the film, as a matter of fact, and yet they never ruin that. They always keep faithful to those characters and what they would do in certain situations. Again, the writing, very good. Again, very tense, very eerie at certain times. There is tension building throughout the entire film of what could actually be going on, whether it is supernatural, whether it's not supernatural. Again, there's kind of a mystery in this current area involving this house that our main character grows up in. Possible murders, that kind of thing. That's really good. I enjoyed all that. I had a really good time watching that mystery kind of unravel. It might not hold up as well on a future rewatch, but I think the humor and the comedy element to this movie might really make it pull through with that, in my personal opinion. There was a lot of good twists in the film, especially in the third act. There's like 3 or 4 twists that just hit back to back, constantly slapping you across the face, and the best possible twist move they could move, or pull. I can't talk. It's been a long day. Anyway, Housebound really surprised me. It's a very well shot film, very beautiful looking movie. The music is good in here. I enjoy that. It's very much, it seems to me kind of cheap, but kind of like a parody of the cheaper horror movie music that you typically hear in like the Conjuring series, or universe, whatever you would like to refer to that as. But you know what I mean. A lot of really, weird violin type stuff, a lot of A24 violin type stuff. That's usually the music for this film. There's not really any CGI for the film. It's really just kind of, if you want to call it practical effects, you can call it that. It doesn't really matter. The film is more of a mystery and a drama and a family drama more than anything, aside from the comedy elements. And I do think, overall, that it's a big recommendation for me to all of you. It's one of those films like Scrooged that I reviewed last year with Bill Murray, the Christmas horror film that's kind of a remake of A Christmas Carol. This is one of those films, as a comedy, as a horror movie, that I'd recommend to most people. I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but I think most people who give this the benefit of the doubt will like it. I really do. It's very funny, very enjoyable. Got a few really good laughs out of me, and I really enjoyed that about it. There's a lot of dull moments that kind of fall flat when it comes to those jokes, which is part of the reason why I think it's a little bit not perfect or not amazing or anything, but it is good, and it was fun, and I really enjoyed that about it. It was something different. I've been on like a big streak recently with a lot of shitty movies left to right constantly here lately. And this one kind of brought some levity. It made me feel better than what I'd been dealing with recently in a lot of the movies I've been reviewing. Currently, just so you know the kind of pain I'm dealing with, I'm watching Scream Season 3 of the TV series. Jesus Christ. It's bad. Anyway, this was really good. The acting was great. Everything I said that could be great was great, pretty much. Just not an amazing film. Just really good for what it was. And I really, really enjoyed my time with it. So props to all of you folks who made Housebound. Again, 2014 is when this film came out. It came out almost 10 years ago. Can you believe that? This film is almost 10 years old. That you've seen the posters all over the different streaming apps that you watch. That's crazy. Anyway, if I had to rate Housebound on a 5-star basis, I would easily give this like a very high 4 out of 5 stars. It's very well made, very enjoyable. I think most people would like this a lot, as I said. Anyway, if you have seen Housebound, I'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. God bless you all, and goodbye.